Hey guys, welcome to the final lesson of the course. Now we just have all these objects, all the landscape, but of course it looks like nothing. If we hit render, we won't see anything. That looks very lame. So we need to add the lights and the materials. So we can delete all these materials. Alright. Now for this course, I'm going to use for the rendering, I'm going to use a rendering called Octane, which is really great. It's really amazing. Of course you can use the physical render on Cinema 4D, but I'm going to use Octane renderer because I think that the final result is much better, especially for this kind of work. It works so much better with Octane renderer. So if you don't have it, it's very easy to find. You just go to internet and it will take you to the official page of the people that created Octane. You can download a free trial, and if you like it you can buy it or anything, but in this case I'm going to use Octane. But keep in mind that you can actually render it with the physical on Cinema 4D, but if you have Octane, I hope that you have Octane, I'm going to use it, and all I'm going to do right now is to open the live viewer window on Octane. It will open this live viewer. Now click here to render. Alright, we have our first view. Looks very cool right now. But now it's time to actually create some materials. But first let's create the lights. Go to objects and select HDRI environment to create an Octane sky. Now leave this, we are not going to do anything right now with this, but go and create an Octane area light. And this area light, let's take it to the right side and move this 90 degrees, open it wide like this, and we're going to change some things on the Octane light. Go to the Octane light tag, and first make sure that it's double-sided. On visibility, remove the camera visibility so that we don't see it on the live viewer. And for the power, let's lower this to, we can use it on 10. Now you can see that we have a very nice shine here, but it's not so overwhelming as it was before. Now let's set it here for now, create a duplicate of this Octane light and take it to the left side instead. You can turn off and on the lights so that you can see how they are acting. You can see that we added a nice shine here. We can move this up just a little bit so that we can see some lights here. Alright, this is fine. And let's create another duplicate of this Octane light, and this time we will place it here on the middle. Just like this, a little bit higher, and move it here next to the buildings and the trees. Alright, just like this. This will create some nice shadows here on these parts. You can see the shadows of the buildings are sharper now with this Octane light. Alright, now we're done with the lights. We can group these, call these lights. We can change them later. And now it's time to create the materials, which are the most fun part. So go to objects, sorry, to materials, and create Octane Glossy Material. And let's begin with the trees materials, the Treetop Materials. Go to Octane, and let's go to the tree park, trees, and or you can actually drop this material here, and it will paint itself, or over here, so we don't lose so much time. Alright, now double click on it. All the things you can turn it off, but the important part is first the diffuse color. Let's play with a greenish tone somewhere over here, like this. Maybe a little bit more bluish, like this. Now you can see that they are really shiny, they are reflecting a lot, and I don't want that. I want this to look like this, that this is like some vinyl texture. I want this exact effect, and if I want to do that, I'm going to the roughness, and I'm going to increase this roughness until I see that it looks just like how I want. So the float should be around 0.4, and yes, that works perfect. So we have our first material, and all we have to do now is to place this material on the other parts that we want them to be. For example, this blue material, I want it to be here on this water pool, of course on the pool water too, and on some platonics, some of them. You can see how easy it is to paint the platonics. And for the cylinders, I'm going to use it too. So we have our first material. Now let's duplicate these. You can rename them. You can call these blue. It's kind of like a blue or green. Now let's change the diffuse color to a very pale purple, kind of like this. And now this will be the color of our base. Yeah, this looks good. Let's see what else can have this color. Maybe the outside of this fountain can have this color too. And I know, let's turn off the camera, and I'm going to set this color for this part of the tree, the inside of the trees, these discs. I'm going to use it here too, and of course for the smaller trees. Alright. Now let's hit again the live viewer. Alright. Now I want to create a new material, a new duplicate. Let's call this pale purple. And this new material, I want it to be like a very cool magenta. I love this color. Exactly like this. Now click OK, and first on this, the base of the building, we're going to use this material exactly like this. We're going to use it also for the edges of the pool. Okay, of course for some of these platonics. And also we're going to use it for the tubes these tubes right here, we can but we have to make sure that it's only on the tubes and not on this capsule. And also we can, let's turn off the camera, and we can color these the edges here, the frame of the trees. We can color them with this nice magenta color. Alright, let's see how this looks. Okay, very nice. Now let's call this magenta, and let's create a new duplicate of the purple, and we're going to use the same purple but really dark. Somewhere around here. Okay, like this. Now with this, I'm going to paint first the base of the tree park, and I'm also going to paint, let's add some more pink to it, like this. Okay, I'm going to paint also the road, one part of the road. Remember that we use the set selection. So let's open the road, delete these materials, and let's use this purple, but only on this selection. Alright, like this. Now create a new material, and let's change this to a very dark, very pale gray, like this, and use this on the road again, and this one should have the selection, so we will end up with something like this. Create a duplicate of this and make this white, completely white, and use it to add the materials for this part. Now use our purple, which should be called dark purple. This should be called gray, and this one will be white. Now use the dark purple on this pipe and on this part, of course, and also for this platonic. You can use the gray on the bench, and we can use the dark purple on the building. Now for the building, let's open this group. Remember that we have a selection, so take the magenta and drop it here and use this selection, and you will have this. Alright, this is looking very good. Now turn off the camera 1 second, and let's play around with these colors, like this. You can use a gray for these tubes, and now let's create a new material, and let's make this yellow, like this, and let's use it for several things. For example, this sculpture, of course the sun. For the clouds you can use a white tone. And now turn off the camera, and we're going to use the yellow color for the lower part of the trees. And let's see how everything looks. Very cool. Now we just need to create one final material for this torus, this lifesaver. Create a duplicate here. We can call this yellow. And open this, and on diffuse, on texture, set it to surface tiles. Now you will have this that doesn't look good at all, of course. Drop this into your lifesaver, and on tiles click here to modify this. On pattern, let's select lines 1, and let's change the orientation to vertical, so we have this. Now let's take a yellow tone. Instead you can use the dropper, and for the gray color you can use a magenta like this, and for the crowd color you can use this same tone. We can decrease the crowd width and the bevel width. Alright, now with everything good, we just need to maybe modify some of these lights. For example, the left light should be closer and a little bit higher. The right one is okay like this. I like how this shines here. For the middle one, which is this one, I'm going to uncheck the double-sided so that we can have some more shadows here. Now let's go for the clouds, and let's move some of these clouds. For example, this one should be in front to create this nice effect that we see here. This one can be a little bit lower, and this one is fine where it is. So you can see that we have some more depth with the clouds now. Now with this done, all we have to do is to go to render and add to render queue, and just render, and let's see how this looks. Alright, here's how it looks on my site. Now we can change some things to it. For example, we can change the background color, and to do that, let's go and open again the live viewer on Octane. And first you can see that it's really noisy right here, and I don't like so much noise, so I'm going to open the settings. On max samples, I'm going to choose 220. That's it, don't do anything else. Now on the Octane sky, you can see that we have here on image texture, instead of image texture, let's set it to color. And now you can change this color to whatever color you want. I, for example, use like a pink color. Which looks like this. Maybe we can make this a little bit darker. And now you can render this again, and it will look so much better. So that's it for this course. I hope that you enjoyed creating this abstract landscape. I certainly have. And you can see that we can create wonderful things on Cinema 4D using just the basic shapes. You can see that we use basic shapes here, but we did it in a way that it looked very cool in the end, creating an abstract landscape. So we used a lot of splines, we used a lot of basic shapes, and we use a lot of spline wraps. So keep that in mind and try to create these wonderful things on Cinema 4D and have some fun with Cinema 4D. Try to create some abstract objects, because we often see too many realistic objects, so we can try and make something different like this scenario. So I really hope that you enjoyed the course. Remember that I'm going to share with you some of these materials that I use, for example, the sun and the clouds spline. And keep in mind that you have to upload your work, or you may upload your work, so that we can see if you understood everything and that you understood everything on the course and how you use the tools. And we would love to see that. And remember also that we have the discussion board where you can post any question that you have, and I will be very glad to help you with however way I can to help you. So again, thank you for joining me on this course. I hope that you enjoyed it, and see you on another course.